Hey, so first time using this stuff. I wanted to show the PS3 because I got it running. Had to run it through a splitter to bypass some software that blocks the signal. But so to use a PS3 with HEN, I have a HEN exploited system right here. It's a Slim that I put a 1 terabyte. I think it's a hybrid drive in here. It's like solid state and mechanical. But once you get it all set up, which it could take an hour or two, whatever, depending on what you're doing, you start the system like I just did. Click on HEN and wait a second. It'll ask you if you want to close the browser. Rarely this fails, but it's really rarely. Hey, I got a chat up. Nobody's here probably though, but if anybody ever comes in, hey, let me know. Say something. I'm happy to talk to anybody. But the first thing I'm going to show is, let's go with the multi-man, because this is the power tool. This is like the best thing about having a hacked PS3 or exploited. Mine's not fully jailbroken, it's just running an exploit called HEN. And different models, that's something else you should know if you're going to do this. Let's say you have a Slim PS3, check if it's like a 7000 whatever model, and certain ones will actually run the full jailbreak, others will not allow it. So at least at the time I did that to my system a few years ago. But check this out, so I have a huge PS3 collection, by the way, you know, and 3D Dot Game Heroes, that's like a cult classic that's really expensive. This looks surprisingly good on the PS3. I find myself often shocked playing PlayStation 3 games that I've never tried, or jumping back into them like in 2024 or recently, at how good they look running on a modern TV. And honestly, graphics, once they hit this point, they're good enough for me, man. I'm okay with the way games look. Call of Duty 4, that was when I ended my streak of playing FPS shooter games a decent amount, back when this came out and it was relevant. Not sure if we have anybody in here, but if this is just saved for later, that's fine too. Fight Night, so I'm just going to go over some games that I have memories of. Fight Night was really good. I feel like it's the most precise boxing and one-to-one for actual fighting game that's came out, like those UFC ones. The way that their control scheme is not as intuitive, and yeah, you can be good at that game, but it's not going to really teach you much about actual MMA stuff. But with Fight Night, spamming the jab, just the way that it controls, similar to Skate, I feel like it could really teach you a lot about boxing and theory of boxing. But God of War 3, probably my favorite in the franchise. Played that recently on the PS3, and I have the PS4 version that I am gonna finish. I just started it a couple days ago. But what more can I say about this? This is one of the best games ever made. It's my favorite in the franchise. It's right up there for one of my favorite Sony games. And the intro, just the way it started, that is how you start a game, man. It has Kratos going up Mount Olympus, and Poseidon throws that himself through one of the Titans, and then comes and fights Kratos while he's on top of Gaia. And that, it was just a spectacle. I jumped off subject, but what I was saying is playing Switch and Switch 2 games, or even PS4, PS5 stuff. I don't have a PS5, but when I see it and play stuff like that at people's houses, I am not thoroughly, it doesn't look like it's so far ahead. And when I played God of War 3, just using the PS3 at 1080p, or I think is God of War 3 might be 720, but it looks so good, so many effects, and like just the cinematic nature of it. The end of it was so cool, and it looks amazing. Honestly, there's no issue with playing PS3 games in 2025, in my opinion. You can really see this was like the last formidable jump in graphics. I'll put it that way. Like, if you played an original Xbox game or a PS2 game, the best graphics on that system jump up to this. It's a huge, huge difference. And this was the advent of HD video gaming. Even though the original Xbox had 1080i, I believe, and so did the PS2, but hardly ever used. Only in like Gran Turismo for the PS2 and a few others. But the Xbox had a lot of either 720 or 480p, which is nice, running through component cables. And speaking of God of War Ascension, I'm not a huge fan of God of War Ascension. It's not as good as 3. It's still a good game, but it's more like it's not as good of a mix of the story, of the gameplay, even like the sets and everything are better in 3. I think it's a prequel. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've played it, but it's just it's good, but one of the weaker entries in the series. And let's go to Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus is my favorite Sony first party. I think it was Sony Santa Monica game ever. It's so good, and I didn't play it when it came out. I played the demo way back in the day on the PS2 and thought, wow, like how is the PS2 doing this? That is cool. And also, playing God of War 2 was a bigger spectacle, honestly. God of War 2 looks easily like an early Xbox 360 game. And anyways, Shadow of the Colossus, this version's my favorite. I like it better than the PS4 version that's all updated and stuff. It just runs smooth 60. It has somewhat updated textures, but it's the same. They kept that original game intact, and so the nostalgia and everything holds very well to me. And I could play I played through that 3 or 4 times, and I want to do it again. It's amazing. Those boss fights are the best. Infamous was really cool when it came out. Did I beat 2? I might have beat 2, but I did beat 1, that's for sure. I got a free copy of it when the PlayStation hack happened. They sent us free copies of games, and I think I got a couple. That was one of them. But Jack and Daxter, one of my favorite PS2 games. And we got ourselves Metal Gear Ground Zeroes, and Metal Gear Solid 4 was so good, dude. Like, I never even played through Snake Eater all the way. I played 2, and I think I might have beat Metal Gear Solid 2 a long time ago, but honestly, I felt the franchise was kind of overhyped. It wasn't really that good. It had kind of nice vibe and kind of kooky, fun story that also had like interesting aspects of it. But 4 was the best to me. It's still the best in the series. NBA Jam is amazing. This is the best version of NBA Jam. I didn't even know this came out back when this generation was relevant. I had no idea NBA Jam was on the PS3, but played it a few years ago, and if you like NBA Jam, let's say you play it like on the Super Nintendo or something like that with friends every now and then, play this version. You'll love it. It's the best. Like NBA Hang Time as well. This is like the pinnacle of that before they kind of stopped making games. This is on everything. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. It's pretty good, but Burnout. We passed Burnout already, but Burnout. Going open world kind of killed it for me. I think 3 and Revenge are way better than Burnout Paradise. It's too convoluted. It doesn't have tight maps that were made specifically for the game. Like, open world development kind of has that effect on a lot of stuff. Unless they put a ton of time into that open world, it lowers the quality of the environment you're in. That simple. Portal 2, really good. I need to finish this. I played the Orange Box and Portal 1 a ton when it came out. We'll get to that soon, actually. I love the Orange Box. Prince of Persia. These games are great. Another thing about the PS3 is all these collections, man. If you like PS2, look what collections are on the PS3 for the franchises you like, and you may just skip up and get a 1080p console that plays all the same games faster at a better frame rate with the same controller. Still first party, still holds all that nostalgia. Oh, I got something in my throat. But what else we got? Resident Evil is pretty good, but I remember on release it got decent reviews, but it's not as good as 4. You know, Resident Evil 5 is not as good as 4, and they kind of went into directions, made it more of an action game. That's the whole thing. Everybody says this is 4 was already pushing the action game stuff, and 5 is too much of an action game. Resistance 2, man, if you've ever played Resistance 2 and 3, you know that they are some of the best FPSs on the PlayStation 3, or of that generation even. Like, it was kind of like this versus Halo, and dude, what did they get, like 60 or 70 people multiplayer matches going on this? It was like the largest at the time for Sony, and it was all free. That's it. There you go. Like, the fact that PS3 had completely free online, and they stopped that on the PS4 really bummed me out, man. Like, what a lame thing to happen. That was a huge factor of why I picked a PS3 over a 360 back in the day. And I liked it. It made me experiment with the online stuff. Rock Band was cool back in the day, but don't play it much anymore. It's more my brother's alley. Play with him a little bit, but Skate 2, 3, and 1, they blew Tony Hawk out of the water. As soon as he showed up on the scene, people kind of stopped playing Tony Hawk and played Skate. And it's similar to Fight Night, where once you get used to the analog control scheme of flicking, and it's unique. If you've never played a game like that, it's really unique where the buttons, what normally acts as buttons, is turned into movements on your analog stick of like half circles, taps, forward, quarter circles, stuff like that. But it takes a while to learn, but once you get it down, or even start to get like an intuitive feel for it, it is really fun. It's more precise and just feels more realistic for, like, you know, skateboarding or boxing, when they're trying to make a close to one-to-one representation of it, where it feels more like you're actually doing it. That control scheme is better than like the traditional Tony Hawk control scheme, in my opinion. This was a competitor for like Mario Kart. Great game, but honestly, it still is second to me for what like, this was the Wii version, Mario Kart on the Wii. In my opinion, I'd rather play that than this, but the new Mario Kart kind of sucks. I kind of would rather play that than the new Mario Kart. But Soul Calibur, great fighting game. I feel like this is a great game for people who aren't into fighting games. Like, people can button mash it, and kind of, it doesn't take long to learn the controls, like the basics of them at least. And so this is one I save. Like, I never really got into it. I save for people who would play fighting games with me, but don't want to play like Street Fighter or something that I know a lot about, because people don't want to just get whooped. Like, I've noticed that always happens. If you play someone and beat them a lot, they're not gonna continue to play with you. But Soul Calibur is good for that, like fun, casual, competitive fighting. So then you got Street Fighter vs. Tekken. I never played this back in the day. Excellent game, but I've only played it a couple times. But I did play this, and I went to a tournament at GameStop for this. Pat myself on the back here, but I won a tournament for Street Fighter 5 when it came out. Or wait, 4? Oh, sorry, yeah. Hulk is kind of cool, just destructible environment and stuff. It's alright. But the orange box, so this one's a great one, man. I got stuff to say about this. In my opinion, to this day, Half-Life 2 is the best FPS ever made. You could still play it, and it's great, dude. It is such a good game. It has mixture of kind of platforming, puzzle elements, really interesting world and shooting, and a story of like an oppressive government and all this stuff. It is so good. And it's legendary. Like, when did this come out? It came out on the PC, like, what, in the 90s? Late 90s, early 2000s, something like that. I should look up the date for Half-Life 2, but it was a seminal game. And if you played it on a PC back in the day, you knew it. You know how amazing that was. So, Tony Hawk's Project 8, I only played that once for a few minutes. It's not very good. It got really bad reviews, but whatever. Lastly, Zone of the Enders. If you like this game on the PS2, this version is just a perfect running version of it. A lot of people say this is the best possible way to play it, so yeah. And I think it's on the PS Vita. Yeah, I have it on my Vita as well. That's another thing. You can stream certain games from your PS3 or PS4 to your PlayStation Vita. Where's it at? Right here. And, whoops. This is a bunch of different menus. But it's really something that I think modders and hackers should develop for. Like, imagine if there was no limitations for anything on your PS3 or PS4, and you could just run a Vita with it, dude. That would be amazing. The technology or software is already kind of there. It just needs someone smart who could fix that. So I'm going through the different menu systems for this right now, and I prefer just the standard like XMB style stuff. The Force Unleashed was great. So yeah, I just went over a bunch of PS3 games in the library I like. PS3 is one of my favorite consoles ever, so just want to show you there's a lot to play that I'd recommend. Like, no matter what type of video games you like, there's going to be something on the PS3 that you would enjoy, I guarantee it. It hooks up to modern TVs. You can put this on OLED. It looks great. Where if you go too much further back, you kind of run into issues of needing to get like HDMI hack, or just having to deal with component or composite cables. Even further back, S-Video, which for the 64 random, but for the 64, if you have a 64 and you have the ability on your TV for S-Video port, let's say you have an old TV, or your upscaling device has S-Video, use S-Video. The jump from composite to S-Video is very substantial. Like, it's kind of similar to what you can notice from going from 720p to 1080p. It's like, oh, that's way clearer. It's sharper and more detail and stuff. And the colors. So the way S-Video works is that instead of compressing everything into one signal, it separates the colors and like the gamma. So very sharper edges, sharper pixels, running at that 480i, and yeah, S-Video is awesome. So there we go. That's all of the PS3 games, and we'll try to finish the native Sony stuff right here. PS1, I got a ton of PS1 games. I don't really play the PS1 much on the PS3, but there's a lot of good stuff, and it runs perfectly. Every single PlayStation 3 system can play PS1 games natively, the discs. So through this, if you have HEN, you can copy them all to your hard drive, and you'll be set. And anyway, so Castlevania Symphony of the Night's great. Crash Bandicoot Warped's pretty good. Gex was pretty good. Grandia 2 is my favorite RPG ever, so I need to finish Grandia 1. It has a lot of like pixel art that's in a 3D game, isometric view style. It's good. I need to finish it. But Mega Man, I need to play Mega Man 4 and 5. I played Mega Man X, X2, and X3 a few years ago, and really liked them. Something I missed back in the day because I had a Sega Genesis instead of a Super Nintendo. And then Twisted Metal 2. I have so many memories of Twisted Metal 2, like going over to a friend's house as when I was a teeny little kid, and just playing this awesome game. It was it was so good. And the controls now, if you jump into this now, those controls are so bad, but you can get used to them. And just like with any old game, it's fun, dude. I don't mind having a kind of antiquated older control schemes or cameras. People complain about cameras a lot, where I think the camera in Mario 64 is perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it at all in my book. It was developed in a way that it jumps to the right spots on, like, if you're walking on a skinny ledge and stuff like that. As long as you play with the standard 64 controller with the same grooves where the analog stick is, or the hexagon or octagon, whatever that is, it was actually developed for that controller. So I was talking with somebody about that on my channel, about using a modern like fight stick or whatever for the 64 compared to the OG controller, and I prefer the OG controller, but I don't mind the newer ones in certain games, and I try to limit the use of my OEM ones because they are in really good shape and I don't want them to degrade much further. Yeah, one of them's mint. It doesn't feel like that anybody's moved the analog stick like ever. It feels brand new. But even the other one that is still really good, I don't want to waste too much game time on it, or put too many miles on it, is what I mean. Okay, so you got all those PS1 games. I have a. Did I delete it? I think I might have deleted it. You can also put PSP games on here and PS2 games, but that's honestly, it's kind of a pain to. How do I put this? So having a jailbroken, or not jailbroken, having an exploited system using HEN, you're gonna put a lot of time into like managing it and fixing stuff, adjusting settings, maintenance on it basically, and you even have to wait a decent amount of time to start a game. So my advice when it comes to the PSP and PS2 stuff is make sure the game you're going to put on there is known to run well, because some of them don't. At least with HEN, I don't have a fully exploited PS3 yet. I need to hack one. I have ready for it. But with HEN, it often crashes or has issues running PSP and PS2 games. So I wouldn't waste my time with it. I'd kind of look at this as a PS3, PS1, and Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color device. So speak of the devil. I love the XMB too. If you don't like the XMB, you crazy. I think this is one of the best like UIs ever, dude. I wish they kept this around. I prefer this way over the PS4s or the PS5 stuff. If they just kind of fine-tuned the XMB, I love the XMB, man. The best. So I'm going to go into RetroArch. I'll show you that. And takes a minute to load. RetroArch is pretty good on the PS3. You can run up to PS1 games on it. Not Dreamcast, but most stuff. Oh, is there a problem? Speak of the devil. Live on a stream. That can happen sometimes where oh, okay, it didn't fail. Sometimes it'll fail and restart to the XMB main menu. Cross our fingers. I think it's working. And it does take time. Like this has a solid state hybrid drive on it. And even if you put a solid state drive into the PS3, it doesn't increase your times very much. Like you're gonna get like a 20% on certain loading screens and stuff, because it wasn't designed to take advantage of a solid state drive. It's got some limitation there as far as the bandwidth of how it transfers data. But let's load content. I have everything on my hard drive under ROMs, and I like to play Super Nintendo on here. Nobody in the chat yet, but what should I play? I could either play Super Nintendo or Game Boy Advance is kind of what I like to go. But you got Game Boy Color, NES, Sega Genesis, SNES, and you can run 32X, you can run Virtual Boy, Lynx, all types of systems. Basically, anything under PS1 will run smoothly. And you know what, I've been getting into some Donkey Kong Country. That's one of my favorite games ever. It's like a comfort game for me. I play all the time. And yeah, I kind of miss the platforming Donkey Kongs. Check it out. And I'll just load my last state. But yeah, I have do I have scan lines on right now? I don't think I do, but I do have no, I don't. I don't know if you couldn't see it, but I like this little border that you can see the buttons I'm pushing. That's fun. And wasn't this game amazing? Like the soundtrack, David Wise, everybody talks about that. Like the way this song picks up, so good, dude. I should have saved that for the whole. Oh, I didn't even see myself going there. But as you can see, it's running good. The sound is great. Like the PS5 has support for like really good surround sound. The original Xbox was the first that had like native high quality, high fidelity sound, Dolby Digital, stuff like that. But the PS3 does, and this game is stereo, so I have it set to stereo right now, and it just sounds really good. Oh, I missed one. Don't really care though. Anyway, that is the showcase. I guess I could show one more system real quick. History? Yeah. Let's see if I can do it from RetroArch. Load content. Okay. Let's do some GBA select. Or GBA select. There it is. Like Pokemon. I don't know if anybody's watching me. I've never used OBS or Stream before, but if someone is watching, say, hey, what's up, man? Recommend a game, I'll play it. I'll talk to you. The Castlevanias were really good on GBA. I haven't beat them all. I need to do that. The NES series sucks because it's just weird. Those games were designed for 4x3, and it's just weird. I don't like playing any of the classic series. Mario Kart was kind of lame on here too. The DS Mario Kart was the best. Mario Kart DS was so good. F-Zero, haven't played through that yet. Let's hey, Golden Sun, the best RPG on the GBA, in my opinion. This is just a kind of personally tailored list of ROMs I made. Not everything on here. I haven't finished everything on here. Minish Cap was really good. It's my favorite, still to this day, my favorite 2D Zelda is the Minish Cap. I think it's way better than A Link to the Past, honestly, which is blasphemy for some people. But I didn't play Link to the Past back in the day. I only played it when I was older. Superstar Saga is great. Mario Golf. This is like one of the only golf games I like. It's an RPG. Alright, let's just pick a game real quick. I have a ton of Pokemon hacks and games. I have a huge collection though too, so. Street Fighter Alpha 3. This was one of the most impressive GBA games because this is a PlayStation 1 game. They got running relatively the same thing that the PlayStation 1 version is, which is really cool. there's a really good episode of Modern Vintage Gamer. It's a YouTuber I like a lot. Did an episode on like incredible ports or impossible ports, and he used Street Fighter Alpha 3, which was really good. A good episode. The Advanced series is all good, but if you're gonna play Yoshi's Island, play the Super Nintendo version. That's the way I look at it. Even though I played this before I played the Super Nintendo version, it's just the Super Nintendo version sound alone sounds way better. The Super Nintendo has much better sound with that Sony chip in it than the GBA does. But it does pretty well. Super Monkey Ball is actually on it. Pretty impressive stuff. I have a video about how some of the better graphics on the GBA and Monkey Ball's in that. Not a good version of Monkey Ball though. I used to play Tony Hawk so much. Let's try it. Tony Hawk 2. Yeah. Even though it's this is an isometric view of Tony Hawk, and they pulled this off pretty well. I gotta say, like, I was shocked to see how close. See how close. To see how close it was to. It's just free skate. Oh, I don't have any file on here. How sad. Look how polygonal these dudes are. Oh yeah. Gotta go with Rodney Mullen, dude. The Godfather. Oops. That's one thing you gotta remember. X is B and circle is A, because you're playing GBA with the PlayStation controller. That can get frustrating sometimes. Oh wow. It's got the border. I need to take that off. Okay, I gotta remember how to play this. Okay, the triggers flip and stuff. Okay. Bonus. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oops. Okay. Ooh, yeah. Oh, I'm just free skating now. Okay. Triangle is grind. R1 is flip. Or L1 is flip and R1 is grab. You can't jump that yet. I remember Rodney Mullen doesn't have enough ollie height and stuff to get over that unless you oh yeah, barely. Oh, and there's no reverts. This is before they put reverts into Tony Hawk. Woo. You can fall into grind still. You can do all the same stuff. And you know, me as a kid and playing this was like, wow, this can be in my pocket. How cool! Whoa. Anyway, we'll end on that. If you're watching this, thank you. If not, and you're watching it later, thanks. I think I'm gonna start streaming like a couple times a week. Maybe I'll put up like ideas of what I want to stream, and see how I get any reactions. I'm gonna try to build the channel and actually hit 1,000 subs. That'd be cool. Right now, I think it's almost 600, something like that, which I'm really grateful for. I'm shocked that many people subscribed. I've been putting out videos pretty infrequently, but have been doing it for a long time. And yeah, thanks if you're watching this. And I'd love to interact with people, have people give me ideas for videos, or even if you do YouTube stuff too, like, man, we could do collab stuff. Just depends on if we have kind of like a similar interest in retro stuff, and if we could think up good topics. I always thought it would be fun to have a passive thing going with the channel. So we're gonna sign off there. Thanks guys. Thanks for watching. BlindReflex.